I generally work with painted basswood, which is comes in sheets, and I paint the individual sheets, and then I cut it up and assemble it and glue it onto a support. Or I also work in fabric and plaster wrap, or I paint or draw. I was given by an architecture student some scraps of balsa wood and basswood to play around with in my studio, and this was a long time ago, like 20 years ago. And I started painting it, and I was just really enthralled with assembling these little pieces and making these structures. And I didn't know that it would stick this long, but it has. I'm still fascinated by putting these things together and seeing what kind of comes out. I begin usually with a general idea of a shape. And once I start, it becomes very improvisational, because as soon as that shape forms, I usually want to alter it or add on to it. It usually starts with some kind of drawing and then moves into whether it's going to be a wood construction or this fabric concoction that I've come up with. Sometimes there's something in the natural world that I'll start with, or an architectural feature of a room, an interior that I'll start with, and then I kind of improvise. I also I play around on my iPad a lot. The colors are really vibrant, and it's just a good way to get ideas down. Some ideas, not all ideas. But it's very much like collage. It's like you make a drawing, you cut pieces out, you can take a chunk of one and put it on another drawing. I mean, I have hundreds of them, and I kind of scroll through and I'll alter them, and I treat them really like a sketchbook where I go back into it quite a lot. I will often take a section of a drawing or a small section of something, and I do a lot of cut and paste, and I end up with a sketch which is on my iPad, and then I kind of decide that I actually want to make that gigantic, so then I'll go from that to making a gigantic cut paper piece. I start with the paper and the actual drawing or painting, and then I cut it, and then I go back into it. So I know what the form is going to be for the most part, but again, I might add on to it. The fabric pieces, which are wrapped fabric around paper and plaster wrap, came out of the cut paper pieces. So I made the cut paper pieces, which are kind of medium size, and I said to myself, oh, I want to see this huge. How do I make this huge? And the way that paper often works, especially when you've cut it, is there's these kind of undulations and little irregularities, which I actually was interested in preserving. So when I moved to the bigger scale, I found that the rigid wrap on the paper gave me those same shapes, and then I wrapped the whole thing in fabric. I like the idea of a regional exhibition. I live in Rhinecliff, New York, and just the Hudson Valley is just really teeming with so many amazing artists, so it's pretty exciting to think about a bunch of them coming together for a show.